through God we put on the strongholds, and through God he casts down the strongholds. So when we speak about spiritual warfare, 1 Corinthians, it also tells us to put on the belt of truth. Amen. It also tells us to put on the breastplate of righteousness.
Yes.
It also tells us to keep our feet fitted in the readiness that comes through the gospel of peace.
Right.
It also tells us to put on the shield of faith.
All right.
And it tells us to put on the helmet of salvation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So now we're going to take a walk down memory lane. We're going to talk about our past. So for a moment, I would all like for you to just kind of close your eyes and just think about a sweet time in your life, a sweet memory. Think about that place. What was that interaction? Who was there? What did it feel like? If it was a happy moment, I'm sure there were some great points in that moment. When we talk about the past, we can reference it to a visualized or a time capsule for an individual's former experiences of people, places, things, and experiences. So maybe that may be a grandmother or a grandfather. Maybe it was a daughter's graduation. Or maybe it was your children's first christening pictures. Those are all sweet memories to us. Poignant times in our lives, memories that we will cherish for the rest of our lives. Now, what does the Bible say about time? Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season,
Amen.
a time for every purpose under the heaven." What is your season? What is your time? And what is your purpose? Have you thought about that? Do you know what it is? Let's just ponder that as we go through the material today. Now, when we think about time, there's a lot of different variables that can go through us that can cause triggers. And when we are being reminded of our past, it is those triggers that can ignite the emotions. And that has a pivotal impact on how we make decisions, how we make choices, how we interact with others, the choices that we make for our lives, for our children, for our families. It's so important. So when we look at some of the emotional triggers, some of those could be fear, it could be guilt, it could be, trust, the value that we place on ourselves. It could be belonging to a group, a membership, a church, belonging even in your own family. It can be competition. Is it competition amongst a coworker, amongst your friends? It could also be instant gratification. Is there something that we want, a need that we want instantaneously? Is it leadership, our position, our roles, whether that be in, corporate America, whether that be in a church ministry? What about trend setting? Do we want to be popular? Do we want to fit in? Or do we want to be a leader? Or do we just want to blend in? Or is it time? Is it that instantaneous feeling that we have to time crunch? We don't have enough time, so I need to make a fast decision. We don't have enough time, so I better go this way. But did we pray?
All right.
Did we seek the Lord?
All right.
So now we're going to talk about little Miss Eve and her fall. And then we're going to also consider our fall, because we've all been there.
Right.
We've all made a wrong choice before.
Yes.
We've all been down in the valley before. Right? So when we think and consider Eve, I'm just going to read a couple of scriptures for you, and then we can kind of look deeper into the material. In Genesis 3:6 says, "And when the woman saw the tree that was good for food, and that it was good in the pleasant of her eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof, and did eat. She also gave unto her husband with her, in which he did eat." Now when we look at Genesis 3, it offers some critical material, some critical points about Eve's fall. One of those being that Eve spoke directly to the enemy. That she had a crossroad and a choice to be made. that she let the act be pleasurable. She had lust of the eye. And that she sinned and invited others to go